Hi, and welcome to the 2-Minute Warning. I'm your host, Perry Busby. 2-Minute Warning is brought to you by the Westside Gazette newspaper, one of South Florida's oldest African-American owned newspapers, family-owned newspapers, celebrating its 51st year of existence this year. And joining me tonight is my co-host, the publisher of the Westside Gazette, Mr. Bobby Henry. Bobby, how you doing, my brother? You got mute.
You guys probably want me to be muted all the time, but I'm not. As I always say, Perry, I'm terrific and getting better. And I seriously mean that. You know, in this day and age and all of this stuff that's happening around us, perhaps, you know, in our families, in our neighborhoods, you know, it's enough to drive you crazy, especially if you got people who are supposed to be in leadership dictating and creating stuff that's really not real. It's like what we call, if you've been on the streets at a time or two and somebody's playing 3-card Molly or move the P, you know, you got to keep your eye on the P. Well, while you're doing that, they got something else going on over here, and that seems to be the strategy of one governor, DeSantis. I messed his name up, and I apologize.
DeSantis, okay.
But so that's where I am.
The sycophant, the Satan, he has quite a few names.
Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does. And the stuff that he's doing, oh my goodness, man. We need to make sure that we are in a place to make a difference, you know. And it just so happened that in that place to make a difference, it's at a point where we all become equal because we all have one vote. So we all become equal, you know. That and man, I tell you, our Broward County School Board, you know, I just don't understand it, man. If you and I know we probably don't have that picture that we can pull up, but if you take a look at the picture in itself is worth a million words, you know. So we got a 41% population in the school system that are Black, and we have 9 white women heading our school board and our superintendent, you know. And so we've been writing articles about it, getting a lot of feedback, positive feedback, in some cases not so positive, asking us to back off as a voice of our community. And I dare not is the word acquiesce? So what's that word when you give up?
Acquiesce.
Come on, man, tell me, help me out in this thing here. We dare not do that, you know. So but those are just a couple of things, Perry, from my position. And I even, and I must say this, it's in public records. I did send an email to our superintendent, Ms. Cartwright, asking her to, since we couldn't meet, if she would be so kind as to appear on our 2-Minute Warning show. And here we have an opportunity for her to talk to an audience, a wide spectrum of an audience of what our school system children look like. So I'm waiting on her response. Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope she does respond, and I hope she does come on. It's a conversation worth having. And there's no better time to have a conversation than now. Our school systems are struggling. They're struggling to hold on to teachers for a number of reasons, whether it's pay, whether it's concern about how they teach, the ability to maintain discipline in the classroom, how to maintain a rapport with parents. Teachers are under a lot of stress, and our governor is adding to that. I don't care. I mean, I appreciate the raise, but that's like pitching me a nickel only to hit me on the back end with with a sledgehammer. I mean, the things that our legislature has done to put itself into the classroom with some of this talk, and we can call it nonsense uh, if we want to, but CRT, critical race theory, no matter how we slice it, it's an issue that we have to deal with.
Mhm.
And as we look at this, I've talked to a few colleagues, and while it's easy to point to the Republican Party, uh, let us not be so um, enamored uh, by what the Democrats are doing. And I have heard pure frustration, some of it rightfully so, and some of it, whether or not we want to call it misguided or just the frustration of people who don't understand what's in the system. This is a time for our leaders to talk plainly and come roll up your sleeves and get with the people. We had a conversation. I have mixed feelings about receiving a fundraiser about Roe versus Wade. Why should I support your campaign when your campaign has helped lead me to this point?
Mm. Mm.
What am I funding? And I'm saying I'm willing to put something into the fight. We got to have something into the fight, but let me put it in. Let me rethink where I put it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, while some people's lives have been totally altered, we have some people who are enriching themselves, and they're saying they are for that person.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not saying it, but it's one of the issues that I think, again, when we talked to Congressman Chris a few weeks ago, let's not just talk it. You have to show that in some very tangible ways, in your presence, in the presence of your conversation, and surely in the presence of your finances.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if we really want to talk about the whole strip mining process of black voters and why it has got us here, then I think it's now time to have that conversation.
The real conversation,
The real conversation.
yeah, the real conversation. And we all understand to some degree the amount of pressure that we're placed upon when extra um, added weights are dropped on us. And you mentioned the teachers and what they're under. Hell, they don't even know what they can and cannot teach. You got a governor who's banning books, and some of the books he banned were math books. How in the hell could math? No wonder he can't. If he using math to try to no. We won't get into that, man. We're just under a lot of duress. What's that word?
Duress.
There you go. Thank you very much. We're under a lot of that, and therefore we're in order for us to come out from under some of that duress, it can be equalized or the burden lightened if we should vote. We have an opportunity to change the structure of the Broward County school system with 3 seats. But we got to vote. We can't sit around and just think that our vote doesn't count. Hell, we just had a race that somebody took it by 5 votes. So let's not.
And speaking of which, those 5 votes, let us take credit. And Congressman McCormick, if we were good enough for you to come visit as a candidate, surely we need your presence here as the incumbent in that seat to come talk to us about what's happening. A lot is going on. And I know you're around the community. We appreciate that. But we want to keep a dialogue open. And so we invite your team, and we'll reach out. But we invite your team to come speak to us. The people want to know what's happening. What can we do?
And that goes for Nikki Freed, goes for, what's that governor name? DeSantis?
DeSantis?
Yeah, you can come on.
Yeah.
But now let's get to our show tonight. And let me do this.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Yeah, living here in America is like a jungle sometimes. Okay, we got a couple of different programs tonight, but each one is dealing with our community and how we can do some things to bring some semblance of peace and some hope. And our first guest tonight is Mr. Joshauwa Brown. Josh is the founder of Step Up, which is a 501c3 community advocacy organization, and which focuses on serving as a community liaison for individuals experiencing challenges due to poverty, disabilities, lack of education, and incarceration. Joshauwa is a graduate of Stranahan High School class of 01. So would you come on, Mr. Joshauwa Brown? Unmute yourself, Josh.
Can you see me? I'm steering. Can you see me?
I see you quite well, man.
No, because I'm actually trying to pull it up, and I'm not seeing the reflection, so I just want to make sure that the viewers are getting a good look at their nets. How I want to put it, the nets, Martin Luther King, but I like to throw that in there with the movement that I'm trying to push here in the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. So basically, let's get right to it. Of course, my counterpart, Alex, kind of was caught up with the trial that he's currently in, but rest assured, like I told you guys prior to that, we're going to have two other more attorneys that's knowledgeable, along with Alex, that's going to be there on Saturday, May 7th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. to give you guys these tools so you can be successful as restoring your rights. Like I say, this is an educational event. This is not an expungement event. You're coming, you're getting the tools so you can be successful. You know your rights. Basically, like I said, I got a lot of peers that was, we have those comments, that was barbershop talks, meaning that, Joshua, man, I'm a convicted felon. Those expungement event doesn't work for me. Because those expungement events only for individual who hasn't been convicted. I've been convicted. And furthermore, I want to get my firearm license. I've been restored. My civil rights been restored. I've been clean. I've been a modern citizen for the last 8+ years. Can I get my firearm license? Those all the questions that my peers and other more been asking me, and we're going to deliver those answers to you. So come on out on Saturday. We're getting 3 hours. You would not retain these 3 hours of information for free. Most attorneys, when it comes to expungement or any other legal advice, they charge you a consultation fee. They only give you 30 minutes. But due to the blessings and the respect that the Florida Justice Center has for me and the relationship that we have, they willing to come out for my community. I say, I'm big on building up my community. I want all my peers and everyone around me to be successful. So with that being said, if I can guide them with the tools and resources so they can be successful, by all means, I'm a true advocate of getting that information to them. So on Saturday, you come out. Any question you have, we ain't listen to what your parents said, what your peers. No, we want you to come out, write the notes down, write the question that you have about your rights. If you've been previously incarcerated, are you going through the system? These attorneys are here for you. They come in Saturday for 3 hours. They come into the community to teach for 3 hours. You will not get this information nowhere for 3 hours unless you're in school or unless you got don't mind paying that attorney fee, but with the blessings and, like I said, with the relationship that I have with the Florida Justice Center, that they're willing to come and speak to the community about their rights. With that said, like I was,
Josh.
okay.
Yeah, because
You
man,
roll,
you
you
are
got a politics.
passionate about this, and man, that is great.
Yeah.
But and first, we do want to thank our audience for joining us again. You know, we've been having some great discussions. This discussion, as Bobby said, is a slight departure, but still all in this gumbo together. Because this is around voting, this is around politics. So Joshua, I know you, man, you came in and you hit a quick double on us. But if you can you come back, kind of tell us what started this idea, where it's going to be, how it can help, even, you know, I mean, we got some grandmothers here who trying to help their grandbabies. So bring it back so they can understand it, so they can get Junebug up there to get things straight.
And Josh, take a deep breath. Okay, take a deep breath. We want to hear everything you got to say. We're not going anywhere. Take a deep breath and give us what you got going on, as Mr. Busby said.
Appreciate it. Like I said, Mr. Busby, of course, you know, Mr. Heron, and you know, of course, you know, we've been having numerous conversations. Basically, like I said, with my event, where it initiated from, of course, you know, my experience, you know, dealing with the school system, of course, you know, with others, situation. Like I said, I kind of stumbled on me being an activist by accident. So with that being said, just happened to just see a lot of my peers. Like I said, I could have easily had a DC number. And just seeing my peers, what they go through, the challenges that they go through. Like my biggest questions, remember, I'm the generation of why. So with that being said, I used to always ask myself, like, these individuals done served their time, why they're still being hindering once they are returning citizens. So that was the question that came. And then, you know, you get a lot of individuals who been free for 10 plus years and they didn't even know that they can, after a certain amount of years, they automatic rights are restored, and just stuff like that, man. I just felt like, man, you know what, these individuals need to retain this information. We can just do something for the community. We, of course, there's other, you know, plethora of supporting groups that's doing a phenomenal job. But I just feel like, man, if we could just really educate our returning citizens in the community, that, man, this movement would be phenomenal. And like I said, on Saturday, for that grandparent or that auntie or that significant other who was holding her other half down when they was incarcerated, if he or she doesn't want to come out, you come out on May 7th at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Joseph C. Carter Park Rec Center to retain this information. Like I say, I'm doing this out of the fight of what our community need to get, what our individuals need to get. Like, of course, Mr. Henry and Mr. Busby was saying earlier about, of course, getting involved with voting. Guys, we got to make sure we put the right legislators in the seats to pass these bills. Of course, look how they're looking at all these other bills from the 60s and 70s. And we all know what the first bill with the fatherhood bill that Governor DeSantis passed for $70 million. Of course, we know what that stemmed from. That stemmed from what? Incarceration bill from the 94. So we need to put pressure on our legislators. We need to really get involved. We need to change the narrative that, you know what, voting ain't for us. No, we're black. We supposed to be involved in voting. They forced us to vote. You look for the voter bill from discriminations to board versus education to the board, just plethora other what our great grandparents fought for. So,
okay, Joshua, great job. Let me ask you this, Josh: who is involved in this activity for Saturday with you?
Great question, Mr. Herring. It's me and like I say, my I want to say organizer, Jonathan, because he's probably was a detective in New York. Got convicted, so he was on both sides. He was on the civil side as well as on the law enforcement side. So he is the executive director that really is out here, really educate me on what it is when it comes to your rights, especially when returning citizens. So it's me, and like I said, my co-organizer, his name is Jonathan. That's with the Florida Justice Center.
Okay, that's good. We got one of the viewers asking, and you can see she says that she needs you at my voter registration drive at Sunny's down in Hallandale on May 21st. So there's a need for you, Joshua, and what you're doing. Now tell us some of the things that will take place on Saturday. Okay, give us a little bit.
Okay, basically, like I was telling you, Mr. Harry, the main two conversations that, of course, that I get asked a lot is, of course, the firearms. Those for my returning citizen who may have, of course, completed their supervisor, has completed all their terms, restitution, everything. Like I say, they've been out of the system for 10 plus years. They've been modest citizen for 10 plus years, and now they want to attain their firearm license. We're going to get them knowledge on how they can retain their firearm license. And the other elephant in this room is felons getting their record expunged. We have multiple individuals with multiple charges, meaning that, of course, the biggest one in the inner city community is possession of intent to sell. And you may have a plethora of those. You can come and get those questions on, if I have multiple same charges, and I'm a felon, can my record be expunged? Saturday will be the best time for you to come learn for yourself. I am, years told you, come learn from yourself what the attorneys can tell you who specialize in expungement, dealing with individual who was incarcerated when it comes to getting that record expunged. The true answer that you're going to get. Now, what your mom and them said, your uncles, them, and everybody else, is what attorneys who specialize in expunging criminal records to get you clear, basically get your records expunged.
Okay, Joshua, we need for you to put in the chat box, type in the chat box how somebody can get in contact with you and that particular other entity with Alex and the other gentleman you mentioned. Now, John, okay, what is Step Up?
Okay, of course, Step Up is a 501c3 community advocacy organization. Basically, what I call myself is your community liaison, meaning that I advocate for anyone. I'm not scared to ask those questions, like the why question. Like I said, I'm the generational why, the millennials, and of course, Gen Zs, meaning that, we're not scared to challenge the higher ups when it comes to, our rights and want to know and looking at old previous bills. So with that being said, that's what birthed the organization of Step Up.
Okay. Again, one of our viewers, and I agree with her wholeheartedly. If we could get those returning citizens back and get their voting rights restored, we can flip the state. And there we go. We need to find the 1.5 million returning citizens in Florida. Then we could actually do some stuff. So, okay, all right, Josh. Did you put your information in the chat?
Yes, I'm doing it as I'm speaking with you now, Mr. Aaron.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want that you really want to stress to the audience?
Yes, guys. Like I was saying, please come out. This. When I keep saying the movement, guys, it is a movement. It's just like the civil rights movement, but it's a different movement. It's about restoring our rights. It's about really empowering our peoples to really challenge Tallahassee. Guys, these bills will not get passed if we don't have the support of the community. And with that being said, like, I'm putting all the effort in to get these attorneys to come out of their busy schedule. See what today, when he was like, man, Josh, one of my attorneys, Josh, I really want to be there, but I'm dealing with this trial. But they willing to come out on Saturday for 3 hours to educate our community on the important topics that are hindering individuals from getting jobs, getting apartments, just really being modest citizen. And on Saturday, we're breaking all those barriers with these questions that make you successful as returning, not even returning, but once was previously incarcerated, to better yourself as it with moving forward here in the state of Florida. So ordinary for this movement to push in for the legislators in Tallahassee to see that we need to definitely look into our prison reform bill, and of course look into other bills. When it comes to the inner city, that we start marking ourselves, we have to support events like this. It don't have to be public. We have to come and we got to show out in massive numbers, like we was showing up to a concert. We have to support events and entities that's really for the community and really building up our community about fighting for righteousness. Okay, so, like I said on last, please support this initiative. It won't work if I don't have the support of the community. How can I fight with the governors in Tallahassee if 2 or 3 individuals showing up? We got to show them and record numbers so they can see even our local governors, our local politicians and senators can see that we're serious about our rights, and the Black community is stepping up.
Okay. You just one of the viewers, Mr. Locke, said that he was posting and trying to get the information out to different people. So you got folk who want to get involved, Joshua. You know that's evident. You get your attorneys and let's make this thing happen, man. So,
Definitely. Most definitely. And like I said, Mr. I appreciate the opportunity that you're giving me on the platform that you have, well as, you know, Mr. Busby, with the opportunity, with the platform that you guys have, just to get the message out. It's plenty more that we're going, but it's just the beginning, guys. With the beginning, we got to grow into more, so these individuals will know, especially not only individuals, so our politicians will know that it's not, oh, you know what, they don't care, they don't support. No, we do support, and we're changing the narrative here in the state of Florida, and we're starting Oregon. It's going to originate here in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, Joshua, put your contact information in the chat box. Okay, there you go. Somebody's trying to get to you. Okay, Mr. Busby.
Yes, I was just following the conversation.
Okay.
I see someone wants us to post a flyer. So where can we make sure that people get access to the flyer so that they can support Brother Joshua in this effort? And so that's this Saturday from 10 to 3. Outside of this Saturday, I mean, what are some of the other ways that they can get in contact with you?
Oh, it's a good question. Basically, Mr. Busby, basically what it is, like I say, this is what I'm doing with the Florida Justice Center. Is just something that I pitched the idea to them because, of course, you know, State Attorney Harold Pryor does a expungement event. So of course, you know, we don't want to interfere exactly what they're doing. Basically, what this is a one time in the community, just an educational session that I just want to bring to my community for those ones who missed the Miramar expungement event that actually what the Attorney State Harold Pryor does. So basically what Step Up itself movement is going to be doing, I'm basically going to be start going into the homeowners associations. I'm going to be speaking with the community. Like I said, I'm a community liaison. I want to talk to the community. I want to educate them on the true meaning of second chance. On there, like I said, on there for this movement to pass and these bills to pass, we have to get the support of the suburbs as well as the inner city to back these movements. So my fight will continue on even after this event. Like I say, with the Florida Justice Center, that's what they normally does. They do a expungement event. They do plethora other events when it comes to individual rights. My fight is, like I said, I just partnered with them on this one initiative to help, you know, educate my peers who's been asking me those two main questions that I get a lot.
All right. So we got everything we need. All right, Mr. Brown.
Yes, Mr. Henry.
Thank you so very much for sharing.
Likewise.
You know, and we're in this struggle together, my brother.
Appreciate it. I know we are.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. Hope to see everyone on Saturday.
All right. We will.
Very good. All right.
Great. No, man. That you know, and that's what we
it's the neighborhood. Hey, we got to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, who we got next? What we got going on? And this is concerning our community and what we need to do.
Yeah, you know, and we've been in, you know, talks about what we need to do around voting. And again, these are one of those sorts of services that, you know, for all intents and purposes, is very much connected to voting, even though, you know, I mean, because as we have groups going out to register people to vote, you're going to get encountered with people with these types of situations. And so it helps now that we can begin to sort of create some bridges along the way to help people, deal with this. They may not have heard about an expungement event, but they're being faced with voting, and now they don't know if they can vote. And here comes the other, questions that they have. And this is why I say, we've almost have to take a social work approach.
Okay.
Getting out the vote.
This is a good time while we waiting for our next guest while we transitioning is to ask our listeners and viewers, what are some of the topics that you would like to see on the show for us to discuss, and those people who perhaps can lead us in those discussions. Yeah. So if you got any ideas or any suggestions, we're open. That's all. This is our 2-minute warning. So let's see. Is the pastor? Is he back?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's. You want to introduce next guest?
Oh yeah. You want to do it? Or you going?
You got it.
Oh wow. Well, I see one of our favorite people is joining in, man. Mona Lisa, Miss Weber. How you doing? Right. It's always good to know that you're in our presence. Great rising. Thank you. Okay. Well, our next guest, and he has done some things in the community. He's not shy of his responsibilities. First of all, as a pastor, then he's a very passionate pastor. He comes to us from New York. He's done some great things here in Fort Lauderdale, and I got on his case a couple of times, about doing things and not letting a voice of the community be a part of it. So we've had a great conversation and dialogue. But Pastor Byron Mashack, again, like I said, he's from New York. He was called here in 210 over at the 15th Avenue Church of God here in Fort Lauderdale. He has worked and to help transform that area. He's involved with the LA YMCA. He's been on TBN, that network. He's really a down-to-earth person that really cares. So, Pastor, are you there?
I am here.
Hey, there you go. What's happening?
How you doing, Pastor?
First of all, I have to say a couple of things. First of all, you got to be careful with a brother who comes from the Bronx, New York, playing that old school hip hop. That caused something to rise up in me.
Uh-oh. I knew you would like it.
You taking me back. Mm-hmm. Also, we are formerly 15th Avenue. We are now New Destiny Church.
There you go.
New Destiny Church.
Mm-hmm. And Pastor, we're so grateful for you to enlighten us on the new change and the things that you're doing. We know, coming from New York, you've seen some things, and with that in the back of your mind, I'm sure you're ready to address and you have a plan to do this. So tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, yeah, I grew up in New York, but I spent 20 years in Metro Atlanta, and have been here for 12 years. So all I know is the city. All I know is the urban context. And so that being said, we cannot be a Christian people, a church, a pastor that is just stuck in the four walls of the church. We have to get out of the four walls and touch the community, hug the community, let them know we care about them, that we're not afraid of them, and do our best to meet their needs the best way possible.
Pastor, tell us, I know you did some events in the past. Give us a little background on that.
Yeah, we've done some roundtable discussion at our church when Trayvon Martin, life was senselessly taken from him. We had a huge panel discussion at our church. We always try to have a mix of community leaders, just regular people. Sometimes we have the Broward Sheriff's Department or Fort Lauderdale Police, perhaps some politicians, people that are concerned. We try to be a place where we can talk about these issues and sort of release the tension and the pressure that sometimes builds up. A few years ago, we did a really successful event, the I'm Still Standing Fatherhood event, where it was truly a powerful, powerful day where many people came together, but especially men, fathers, sons, brothers came together to discuss the different aspects of fatherhood and why it's still important, why fathers are still important to our communities.
Mhm. So, okay, Pastor. Okay, traditional, the old school church versus the new school. How are you blending, or how are you presenting the message that to a new audience, if you will?
Well, the challenge is, to be honest, with the COVID crisis, it forced us out of our box, so to speak. Sometimes God is trying to tap us on the shoulder to get us to move, but sometimes He may allow an event to happen or something to happen to force us to get to where He always wants us to be. The church is about the people, not the building. We learned that the real church operates outside the building. That being said, I don't think this younger generation is going to put up with a church that is busy having annual days and eating chicken dinners and not getting out and meeting real needs. In fact, there's a resentment against the church and other institutions that are not seen to be really doing some tangible things to meet the needs of the community. And I can't be mad at them, because really the church is supposed to be about mission. And so it's really getting us back and forcing us to get back to what we're supposed to be doing in the first place.
Mm-hmm. This that we're doing in the first place, how does that include or exclude the political arena?
Well, listen, I don't think it can exclude the political arena. I don't want to preach tonight, but listen, we love to we talk about the gospel. We go to Matthew 28, go into every nation, baptizing in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, the Great Commission. We love to go to John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believes in Him will not perish, but have everlasting life. But we believe the real gospel message is found in Luke 4. When Jesus said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because He anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives, recovery of sight to the blind, and to set at liberty those who are oppressed." Mm-hmm. We believe that is the center of the gospel. If that's what Jesus said He came to do, and Jesus is in us, guess what? Mm-hmm. We're supposed to be doing the same thing that He did.
Okay. I don't know if Ariel, if you can post Mona Lisa's if you can't, she posted on it. There we go. The people are dead in the four walls of the church. So she agrees with you on that. They are traditionally walking zombies and claiming to be saints.
Wow. You want me to respond to that?
Well, I'm no, that's,
Well, let me be careful here, because it was the old saints that got us through. It was the old saints that had the discipline, the patience to march and do the things necessary during the civil rights movement. But what's also important is to be, as the sons of Issachar, to recognize the signs of the times and to understand the shifts in the seasons. And what we did in the past, traditions are important. They're important to families. They're important to nations. They're important to churches and institutions. However, there comes a time when you have to be more about action than just tradition. I believe in holding on to traditions if they are effective, if they're relative, if they're producing some sort of fruit. If they are not, as leaders, we have to have the courage to say, you know something, it's time to do something new. It's time to do something different. That's one of the reasons why we relaunched our church and changed our name, because we recognize that we're in a time where people need hope. So we wanted to go from the 15th Avenue, just the name of the street, to New Destiny, which we believe people need hope. And so, I don't want to cast aspersions on the older generation, because me as a Generation Xer, I'm right in between, right? I love the hymns. I love a little Christian hip hop. I love Fred Hammond. I could get down with a whole menu of variety. But I'm saying today, we need to, first of all, we need the support of the older generation, because guess who pays the tithes and offerings in the church? It's not the young people. I love my young people. They bring us energy, they bring us creativity, but it's still the older saints that are so important. We can't take them off too much.
Yeah. Byron, okay, now, we was kind of treading just a little bit. We didn't really want to go in there, but as things are and as God would have it, we're gonna do a little something. So let's talk a little bit about your event that you got coming up. So let's get a little bit, because we're gonna have you back. Let me say this now, and I mean this. When we can relate to our pastors and they can relate to us, be it roaches in the back running through, be it hip hop, be it whatever. When we can have that communication, we can have a lot of things going on, because we have communication, not just one way. So I wanted to say that, I enjoy your conversation, bro. I'm
I had to keep my mic on mute because I need you to get to your event, because we could have taken this conversation.
Okay. On Saturday between the 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., we are having the Good Health Summit. And what is the Good Health Summit? The Good Health Summit at our church, we're going to bring in various organizations from the health industry to bring the information, to bring services to our people that are so vitally needed. So, for instance, we're going to have the FBI School of Nursing and Technology. They're going to focus on giving care to the aging population, which is critical. Broward Health is going to bring their HIV van and provide testing. The University of Miami, very interesting. They're bringing the Husband Group, the Husband Institute of Human Genomics. They are actually doing research that shows that African Americans are affected by Alzheimer's at a higher rate than those in other races. This is critical information, and they want to educate us on genetic testing, so we can find out what can we do to sort of change the tide in this trend. We also want to have WIC, who's with Florida Health. Of course, WIC is a federally funded nutrition program for women, infants, and children. They're going to provide instruction on how to apply and receive WIC EBT cards. They provide a bunch of services. Urban League is going to be there. They're going to bring us resources on affordable health care. True Connect will discuss how families can qualify for free internet and devices, Medicaid, veteran pensions. And then our ministry, Lift, is a caregiver support ministry where we provide information and resources for caregivers. That's very personal to me because me and my wife took care of my parents for 15 years. My mother had MS. My dad had all sorts of issues. They both passed away within a 2-year period. And this is very personal for us when it comes to caring for or helping caregivers who often suffer in silence. They don't ask for help when they need it. We want to tell caregivers, we see you, we feel your pain, and we want to help you take care of your loved one. So in essence, that is in a nutshell. The event's going to have a combination of presenters where people can sit down and people are actually doing presentations. At the same time, there are going to be tables set up where they're going to be getting vital information from you, testing, and all that good stuff. It's going to be a wonderful event, even for kids. We're going to have a bounce house outside. We're going to have the grill going.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah. Now, I don't know how healthy it is, but we're going to have some hamburgers and hot dogs. And it's going to be a wonderful. We are going to have healthy snacks, and I've been told to say that. So,
yeah, you know, Pastor, where is this taking place? What's the address? I didn't.
My address is 705 Northwest 15th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. Now, where is that? As you know, 15th Avenue dead ends into Carter Park. So we are 2 blocks south of Carter Park and 2 blocks north of Sistrum, right there in the middle, on the corner of 8th Street, 15th Avenue and 8th Street.
Okay. And I also see where you those who may be borderline diabetics or diabetic. I see you got glucose testing, so you got that, and that's one of the major diseases that affect us. And then I also saw you got some mental health stuff going on there. So
I failed to mention Diane Geronimus. She's going to be there. She's a mental health expert. She's just going to be there, and she said don't put on the program, but there's a space in the program. She'll speak. She'll talk to anyone individually. So yes, she's going to be a mental health expert there on the premises.
Mm-hmm. Wow, man! So you actually churching. You're going outside of the 4 walls.
Got to do it. We got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I was on Sistrunk. If y'all saw me, I was on Sistrunk yesterday, going to every bus stop, putting up our posters. I get out there in the street.
Yeah. Coming from New York, I guess you ain't scared.
I ain't scared.
No, I was just saying it got the true legacy of Pastor Johnny Youngblood, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Johnny Youngblood.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. So, Pastor, how can others get involved? How can if they want to join your church?
Well, certainly anyone who comes to the event, we're going to be there. I'm going to be there on premises. Houston, you could join the church on Saturday, as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. We have a website that's newdestinyfl.org, newdestinyfl.org. They can always call the church at 954-764-6841. They can email me directly at pastorb@newdestinyfl.org. And part of our vision in the next few years is to build a volunteer force, a New Destiny volunteer force outside of our normal membership, giving citizens opportunity just whenever we have an event or do a good work to be on a volunteer team and force that we can mobilize and even share with other organizations and churches and entities that are doing a good work. That's the vision.
I see you got a help meet there by the name of Denise Millerson Mashack, who's got you covered. Put your stuff
And
up.
she's from Brooklyn.
Oh, Lord.
How the Bronx and Brooklyn get together, that's something that doesn't usually happen, brothers. Because normally it's like this, Bronx and Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been married for 32 years.
Okay.
32 years. That's my lovely wife.
Okay, good. Are we missing anything? Is there something else we need to cover? Are we Perry? You straight over there? You a PK? You a preacher's kid? You all right?
I am straight.
Mm-hmm.
No, but first of all, just Pastor, you bring the true concept of having a parish ministry, which is something that gets lost sometimes. Outside of Catholic Church, I mean, the parish church took care of the community, and so it's great. I did have one question I wanted to ask you in terms of what do you think is essential that pastors need to connect with this new community that they are now asking to come back within their walls? I mean, again, I mean, the church love church, but the issue is, how do we get the unchurched to even have a open heart to even being churched? And some of that comes again with that legacy. And I know, I mean, we come from a wonderful legacy of preaching, but it's not just preaching that can save our communities. And so, I know a lot of pastors, they talk about preaching, but pastoring and dealing and being that shepherd in the community is something that our churches are now seeing that they're lacking. So how do you see the church now coming across that precipice now to deal with a community in distress, and a community that truly needs the church now more than ever?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we have some wonderful pastors in our community, good friends of mine, and I'm not going to start calling names because I'm not going to get in trouble.
Right.
The number one thing this generation is looking for from pastors and from the church is this: authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's fake, anything that's not sincere, they're turned off automatically by it. I know. I have a 29-year-old son, I have a 26-year-old daughter, and I have a soon-to-be 20-year-old daughter. They want authenticity. Don't act like you have never done anything wrong. As soon as you put that facade up, they automatically look at you with suspicion. Now, I'm not saying you have to get up there and expose all your past or all your dirty laundry, right, but let them know that you are human,
right, and
you're still a work in progress. Then the other thing I say, people need to sincerely know that you care. Listen, as pastors, people line up to speak to us after service, but that person that's in front of you, take the time to look them in the eye as if they're the only person in the world for that 1 or 2 minutes. People just need to know that you care. And once they know that you care, then they're willing to hear what you have to say.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, we're going to have you back, Pastor.
Yeah.
And love to be back.
And we'll have some conversation where we can, we'll open up and let's talk.
Right.
And I mean that. There's some, you're right. There's some good pastors here. They are. And maybe we ought to just have a forum. A forum. Pastors out of the pastor.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Something. But no. Did we cover everything that we need to cover as it pertains to this Saturday, Pastor?
Yes, sir. Y'all better close quick before I do an altar call.
at a time like this, we need it. So,
Shit,
but
we
no,
need a
no.
mourner's bench up front.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So any closing thoughts? Let's do our closing. We'll wrap the show up.
Listen, I just want to thank you all for this opportunity. Listen, I am committed. I am committed to doing my part. I've done a few things in the community, but I don't think we've scratched the surface yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to work with you all a lot closer than I have in the past. And I think together, we start working together. And I think we can truly make great strides in helping a lot of people. And we work much better together than we do apart. And I just want to say I'm proud to be a part of this community. And everybody that's on under the sound of my voice, you are welcome to come check out New Destiny.
All right. Well, this has been a great Thursday. I think I've spent most of the day focused on the community, and that's great. When you can have somebody else pay for your passion. But no, this has been the great cap to a marvelous day, Pastor. Thank you for putting it into the proper perspective.
Thank you.
As I say, with where we are now and what seems to be looming ahead, our communities are going to need the church, and I think in some very non-traditional ways. And we need young pastors who are able to think outside of the box and yet maintain that foundation. I'm like you. I love that old 100. And I get with a deacon who can line it up real good.
You better know it.
But our people need more. It feels good to you, but that's just some meringue. And they need some good substance.
That's right.
And we need leaders who the people don't mind supporting, because I think that's kind of where we are. We got some leaders, but the people have lost trust and they don't have the support. I mean, you know the story of Moses. I mean, when he got tired, he had to get the help to raise his arms.
That's right.
We don't have some of those leaders who are willing to be there in that crunch, and that's what Bobby and I talk about. We got to know who in this foxhole with us. Yeah. So, Pastor, thank you.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you. God bless you both.
And scare my wife when I'm not home. Got education of a digital thing. Take the train to the job. It's like at the station.
Don't get scared now. It's all good, Pastor. I just want to say, here's to a good memory. Play on, call on, close to the edge. Try again. Not to move my head.
On my age.
Hey, it's all about, like you said, it's all about being for real, and with all sincerity, Pastor. We're in this thing together.
Yes, sir.
Just do what's necessary for us to move the people to where God wants them to be.
Amen.
I thank you for the time, and I thank you for your openness and your honesty and your genuineness. You're right. There's some good pastors out there. We just need to get everybody together.
That's right. That's right.
So God bless you in your ministry. Take care, and we're going to be calling upon you now.
All right. Do that.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night.